This Out and About with Marcus G and Coach with the Play.
TB, y'all know what it is. So I'm gonna try to give you the play today. Getting into position. Like when somebody coming down the court and they pass you the ball, they expecting you to be at a certain position for you to score.
100%.
With respect to wanting to start a business or having aspirations to start a business, we have to position yourself for that treat.
Right.
When you practicing a play in football, you gonna throw the ball believing that the wide receiver is going to be at that particular position where you're throwing the ball because you've been practicing that.
You got to have a play at hand.
Same thing with business. You have to practice getting in position to be successful in business. You got to have a play at hand, and you know
with the play,
how to position yourself. Coming up with an idea and then positioning yourself for that idea to come to fruition.
Thing that a lot of people don't understand. What is the position of an entrepreneur? What is the position of a financial advisor, a CFO, a mentor, a counselor, board members? Positioning is very important no matter how you look at it in life, even then when it comes into relationships.
I remember a few years back, there was an incident that occurred in Baltimore City. An uprising came about, people was irate. They went around just showing their frustration. It brought attention to what was actually going on in the city of Baltimore with regards to advancement. So a lot of people around the country was looking to put some serious funds into the area to try to help those that was less fortunate. But there was nobody in the city with the proper setup.
And that would have done the city a lot of good.
You know, a lot of people, they learning on the fly. You know, they see something and they just go after it. They don't look at the details of how to accomplish such tasks. I mean, if they do, they miss a lot of the details because you have many people wandering around that are looking to do something good for the community or do something good for themselves, do something good for their family when it comes to business.
When you are a part of a business, there are different positions for people to play. Take advantage of the Industrial Revolution, setting up business, making money, and how to be a part of a business. And you have all these people working together, and it's important that each of them know their position. That's why they have job titles and things of that nature, so people can be in position. And if they want to go after and capture a specific career path, they know what it takes to go after it. General, everyday scenarios. What position are you in? How are you going to move from this spot to the next spot? Because it's a process.
The process of market positioning is basically you have to pick your market, figure out what it is you want to do, what market you focused on, whether it's nonprofit, a restaurant, whether it's a detail shop. You decide you want to do in business, you have to position yourself, and that needs to be understood before anything. How to position your brand or your product is going to require research and development. You have to figure out, what do I have to do in order to get this company off the ground? First thing you have to do is put yourself in position to do that, right? Because sometimes people go around and they talk about what they want to do, how they want to do it, but they don't put themselves in the position to get that done. I was reading an article about it. It was basically saying you have to be strategic. You have to think about exactly what you need in order to position yourself for your desires. The ability to understand and connect with one's audience is superb. Whether leaders of a team of, like I say, basketball or football, or spearhead a movement, or driving an organizational change, gaining support hinges on the mastery of providing value and fostering transparency in the relationships of those that's on your team, helping them to get in the proper position to make it work. In such a journey, it requires insight, empathy, unwavering commitment to such a mission. Central to effective leadership is the art of providing value. True leaders recognize that their success is intricately tied to the support and engagement of those they lead. By offering solutions, inspiration, and opportunity for growth, leaders can cultivate a culture of empowerment and excellent. In addition, providing value goes beyond mere transactional exchange. It actually requires a deep understanding of the needs and aspirations and challenges of your audience.
In marketing, you have the marketing value position. This basically means that how I'm positioning my products amongst other products so that you understand my messaging behind it, what I'm trying to put out, what I'm trying to gain and accomplish.
Right.
And it's very important that you really do be authentic with your messaging, because you're talking directly to your consumers, especially when you're evaluating stocks and businesses. What position are they currently in? There's all sorts of mathematical tests. You could do asset ratio tests, liquidity tests, and use this mathematical equations to see, okay, if something comes along in this business and this business needs to invest in it, does it have the resources to invest in, say, product? So like when AI came about, okay, how liquid is the company to be able to say, you know what, we're going to dump money into research and R&D and start developing our own AI training software and stuff like that. So It's very important to be in position, and it helps you plan for the future, because if you know where you are today and what position you want to be in next week or next month or next year, you are able to say, okay, well, I'm in this position. Well, from me getting this position, I need to get into this position. And from this position to that position. So now you understand each step of the way and how to position yourself in the market so that you can take advantage of all the opportunities that come across. Like you were mentioning earlier, when they came and had all these funds they wanted to donate to the city to invest, but people weren't in position. And it always starts with a single step, okay? Boom. But you have to live in reality and ground yourself and says, look, this is the position I am in. This is the position that I need to get to. But this position is something I can obtain now so that I can get to the next step.
Absolutely. I mean, that's right on point. Even if you're in position and you miss the ball, right? At least you know that that's the position you need to be in.
Right.
That's the key point to all of this. People have to realize that positioning themselves is very, very important. For example, one of the reasons why we're doing a podcast is for positioning purposes, right?
Right.
We have an investment club that we're building up. We have Mavo that's connected, trading from behind the eight ball. Those are businesses that we are now positioning for growth. And how we're positioning for growth? Because we're doing a podcast giving business tips, and we're providing that so that our audience can understand, oh, we see that they're positioning themselves for something bigger. That's key to it. So if we don't position ourselves for the business to grow, it's going to be hard in order for that business to grow and attract an audience that can help you grow in that situation. So positioning is very key to the development and scaling of a business. In order for you to start, you have to be in a starter's position, if you will. Basically, the article continues to talk about effective leadership. It's a multifaceted journey, which we just discussing, like doing podcasts and media work, social media work, billboards.
Positioning the brand so people understand the message that we're putting out here. Part of just any business that you have to do, you have to know your target market, who you're talking to, how to reach your audience, where your audience actually is, because they aren't always in the same place. So you got to know where to deliver your message, how to position your message to reach your target demographic, because you can put stuff out and you can go after everybody, but at the end of the day, you still need to know who your target audience is and how you're going to position your message in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely right. And if you in that right position, you're going to catch the ball one of these times, right? But if you're not in the right position, you're never going to catch the ball.
Right.
So as long as you're in position to catch the ball,
Yep.
then I think we're progressing. I regard that as being proactive.
I can see that.
Being in position to help the business grow is a proactive state of the business. People look at the business and see it's moving, it's not as fast as I want it to move. That's cool. As long as you're in position, you good to go. It's like a wide receiver running out to the flat, and quarterback don't throw the ball to him, but he throw it to his running back. You gonna come back to the huddle whining? No, just keep being in position, and guess what? As long as you in position, one he gonna throw the ball to you,
Right.
and you gonna be able to catch it.
Exactly.
Why? Because you was in
Position.
position.
So
Same
as a
thing with
leader,
business.
he has to know which is the best position to put the whole team in. So it's not just him saying, okay, like you said, this is the play that we're running, but it wasn't the right position to put the whole team in. Because if I threw it to you and you get interception because you're in the right place, but so is defense. So now it's no longer the right play to put everybody into that position. So now you got to alter it so that you do pick the best position for your brand, for your people to be in order to be successful.
You're right. That's the leader's responsibility. The leader cannot put a person in position where the defense is going to come and intercept the ball. That's on the leadership. You're absolutely right. Leaders must be forthright about their movement and their motivation, their actions, their intentions, fostering trust and credibility among their followers. Building strong leadership is not one-time endeavors, but a lifelong commitment grounded in honesty, integrity, and authenticity.
I agree with you.
So you got coach right here, and then you got the quarterback right here. So the coach gonna tell the quarterback, hey man, I need you to put wide receiver in the flat.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because the coach then got a signal from the offensive coordinator who was watching the screen and seeing that the defense don't go into the flat.
Mm-hmm.
The cornerback is going to try to come around and get that sweep, but if it's a fake and he's in the flat, boom, you got the ball there. So that's leadership.
Yeah.
That's coaching. So it's very important that a leader in any business understand how to position. They have everybody on the same page, understanding the importance of positioning when it comes to being successful in a business. You know, we talk to many people as we out and about, and the first thing they ask us, hey man, what do you do? Hey, you want to know what I do? Go check out the podcast, scan this QR code. It's going to take you to my website, and it's going to tell you everything that I do. Boom.
So now you're in position to deliver your message to this target individual who wants to get in with you. It's just important to be in position no matter what area of your life that you in. Understand the position that you in and what you have to face. Because when you talk and have conversations with people, you need to know how to actually position yourself to set them up for your elevator pitch so that now you know, okay, what do you do? This is what I do. Go check it out. Let me know. You did several things. Hopefully they go and check your stuff out. Boom, you ran up a like or play on a piece of media. Hopefully you capture their information one way or another. Hopefully they subscribe to the page. So now you have more followers and viewers. So anytime they're interested in what you got going on, you already set them up in a position to take advantage of staying up to date and what's happening. And so now you automatically know, setting yourself up in position to take advantage of opportunities to help you do better in life.
No doubt about it. Positioning yourself is very key. They got an example here of good positioning. He's talking about a car manufacturer may emphasize the particularities of its car, positioning them as quality vehicles for the average consumer instead of costly status symbols. A fast food chain may position itself as a palace to get inexpensive and quick meals, unlike high-end restaurants. So that's pertaining to how you position in your marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to it, you have to position yourself for everything. For your marketing, receiving investors or people that's interested in buying your stock from your company.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody say, hey man, I want to buy some of your stock.
So you got to be in the right position to be able to have these conversations and tell people what it is that you need.
I suggest that you do the research and you have that information, because if you're running a business, you should have already worked the numbers out, or you should already have asked your accountant, where's the cost of my stock right now?
Mm-hmm.
Being it fluctuate ups and down, you need to know the general area of the cost and the value of your company. How many people you talk to that didn't know?
When you start doing that and people are invasive, it makes people feel uncomfortable that you don't know those numbers, because it's like, okay, well, what have you been doing with the business? If you want me to invest in this, how am I supposed to know what to invest in, what it's worth? And then you having these meetings and conversations with people. If you don't have an idea of what those numbers are, then you're not in position to really to negotiate. It is very important to have it on hand because now you're ready, because that single conversation could be the difference between somebody giving you the resources that you need and not, and having to keep on going through the process of finding people.
I know when I'm about to invest in a business and I asked a couple simple questions like what's your gross revenue for last year, or what's your quarterly net revenue, and they can't give me the answers. It's quite a turnoff because I expect people to have positioned themselves to understand the ins and outs about their business if they wanted to be successful. I'm thinking you would know each and everything about your business.
100%.
So it's very important that leaders set the example of positioning themselves, being a student of the craft, studying the plan, and letting people know that everything about this plan and you know the ins and outs, and then they will be inspired to put themselves in the same position of studying the craft and being on top of their game.
So knowing how to talk to your staff and your people to help them be in position to help everybody accomplish the goal so that all these pieces are together, moving in unison as one piece in a position, unified, just like hands on a watch or a clock. It works together. It has to be in a certain position in order to give you the time of the sun, basically, is what it boils down to.
Give me an example of how you tried to position someone for success. Once you position them for success, then they no longer held that position and let it fall from under them.
When you talk to people, they don't know what position they even want to be in. A lot of times people don't always go back and do the research and know what it takes to get into that position. So now you ask these people exactly what position you want to be in and identify that position. I try to explain to them that, okay, once we get to this position, it's much more to do than just from here. It may be a certain goal to get to, but it's only really a milestone in where you're going. With that being said, once they get there, they have been paying attention along the way to understand that, okay, now we reach this position, it's time to move to the next position to keep growing, because that single point was only the beginning of the journey. And a lot of times people don't really want what they say that they want. It takes them time to figure out what it is that they want instead of being proactive and continuing to put themselves into position to get ready for when this comes. And when you try to explain that to people, sometimes they like turn the deers in the headlights because they don't get it. And so now they're stuck. Now, as a business development coach, I have to make a decision on which way to go with this person.
Right, you have to change your position, in other words. Do you think that's because they don't understand the concept of position or the importance of position? I know one time you told me about it, because we talk about many deals we do, and we find it interesting in communicating about them. Because when you go back and you look at things, I mean, you can learn from those things. You know where you did right, where you did wrong, and try to, sharpen your iron when it comes to certain situations.
That's also understanding where somebody really wants to take their business. And sometimes as a business development coach, you have to say, okay, if that's where you want to be, fine with being in that position. But knowing there's much more that can be done can be a little disheartening, because it's just like there's so much more that can be done, but you don't want to take it to this level. And sometimes you just got to be okay with that and leave people where they are and then move to the next stepping stone, especially when you're trying to get in position to do something grand and help a bunch of people.
Really appreciate y'all checking the podcast out. We want y'all to grow with us, roll with us. I already put the glue on it the last podcast, so we stuck together. We're gonna keep growing, and you're gonna watch us grow into a monster. Like,
Share,
and subscribe to this podcast.
out and about in the streets and in cyberspace.
Brought to you by Trading from Behind the 8 Ball.
Mava, we out
And about.
in the streets and in cyberspace.